Hi, this is Progressive Short Takes. I'm your host, Joe Firestone. There are some people who are saying we have to defend our democracy. And the way we should do that is to impeach Donald Trump and convict him in the Senate, of course, so that he won't be able to run again for office. Of course, if you impeach the President of the United States and you convict him, then he is prohibited from from holding any high office again. It's in the Constitution. Look it up. So that's a way of defending our democracy from Donald Trump. And some people want to use that way of defending our democracy from Donald Trump. There are other ways, though, of defending our democracy from Donald Trump. One very good way is to get rid of the voting machines and go to paper ballots, across the country, and have observers of all parties there when the ballots are cast and when the ballots are counted. That's a way to restore trust in our electoral system again, and to get around the charges, of rigging, and to get around the possibility, of rigging, and to once more make our elections processes that we all have faith in. Yet another way to strengthen our democracy is to get rid of the electoral college system. And create presidents who have been elected by a majority of the people. That's a way to restore the legitimacy of our democracy too. Here's a third way. Let's get rid of the oligarchies. Let's get rid of the donors. Make them non-factors in our system. That would restore faith in our democracy too. Yes, we can't stop Trump from running and defend our democracy in that way. But the other ways I've mentioned, those are much better ways. And the reason why they are much better ways is because they create a democracy again when none really exists now. If we really had a democracy, does anybody really think Joe Biden would be president right now? Our choices were limited. Our parties were limited. If we didn't like Trump, we were forced into voting for Joe Biden, whether we liked him or not. The truth is, we fall far short of being a democracy right now. And if we stop Trump from running again, by whatever method, we would still be far from a democracy. It would not help us. We need to make our democracy in other ways. Now, I don't want to be interpreted as saying that I don't want to impeach Trump. I do want to impeach Trump. And I do want to convict Trump. But the fact is that the Republicans will never go along with doing that in this lame duck period. They're not going to do that. There's no possibility of getting that done. I've always thought that what the Democrats should have done is throw the book at him, throw every crime they could at him. There were literally hundreds they could have dug up and they could have employed. Okay, the time to do it was when they took over the House in early 2019. That was the time to do it. Nancy Pelosi entirely botched it. She tried to impeach him on grounds that people didn't care about, that people did not take seriously, that they laughed at. That was a really bonehead play on her part. It was an obvious attempt just to satisfy her caucus because there were many demands to impeach Trump. Her heart wasn't in it. Her head wasn't in it. Her brain wasn't in it. She didn't really want to remove him from office in that way. That's just one of her many failures as the Speaker of the House. But if we're talking about the goal of defending our democracy, if that's the goal, then the proper remedy is to fix the weak points of our democracy, as I've pointed out. Those are the real issues. We should not be diverted from these issues. Now, should we make sure Trump isn't able to run again? Sure. We should make him responsible for his many crimes while he was the president. When he's no longer the president, he will be prosecutable, even according to the policies of the Department of Justice, which, by the way, the new Attorney General would be capable of changing. And I think that's something that the new Attorney General ought to do. The president should not be immune from prosecution for crimes he committed, either before he got into office or after he was in office. No one should be above the law, including the President of the United States. If we want to fix our democracy, by the way, that's another thing that we can do to strengthen our democracy. It's another thing we can do, okay, and it's another thing we should do. So by all means, prosecute Trump. If he's in prison, he won't be able to run effectively for the presidency. Yes, we've elected people who are in prison at various points to office. But I don't think Trump could be elected in that way if he were not able to hold rallies, do things like that. So by all means, make him pay for his crime so the moral hazard is no longer there. But there's no rush to do it in the lame duck session. There's no rush to defend our democracy by impeaching Trump now. I don't really agree with the suggestion that this should be done. So thank you for watching. I'll be back with another Progressive Short Take soon.